let me see if I can get this all together here. I want to see the comment part. Here we go. Oh my goodness. All right. So I want to see all, not talk chat, but all chat, live chat. Who's crafting with me? Good morning. I know there was some of you there. All right, so I'm going to get started. And if, oh, hello, Terry. Can you hear me? Yay. All right. So I'm going to get started. This was like the cutest, funnest little project. When I saw the project, so I've been racking my brains, trying to think of some fun project. Good morning, Katerina. Some fun projects that would kind of light a little fire and make it more fun, because fun's always first in my book, and more, and maybe stimulate a little bit more curiosity for those of you that have been holdouts from wanting to really get acquainted with or have fun with Artspira. So Artspira is just evolving into one of the most amazing platforms. You can do so much with it. A lot of it is still free. This project here was still a free project. And they've begun integrating a lot of the free projects that were on Scan and Cut Canvas. So you have access to those in one place as well. And just the fact that it integrates so seamlessly with your product that you already have makes it just so much fun. Hello, Sharon. Hello, Kim. I'm glad you're here. So today, we're just going to do a fun little project. This one, there's no right or wrong way. You just need some cardstock and you need the Artspira app. So let's just get started and see where we find our project. I think there's an overhead light. Maybe I can shift a little this way. So first of all, this Artspira is the store Artspira. So this is linked to Jeannie's account and the Scan and Cut and the Luminaire that's in, and the Stellar that's in the store. So it's only the free. So you're only going to see free projects, or I'm only going to be able to choose from free projects. You'll see the other ones, but I'm only going to be able to choose from the free one. And I did that intentionally because I wanted you to see how much on this is still actually free, because everybody thought that when they started the paid platform that they took everything away from you, and that was kind of wrong. So first of all, look at, there's 23 updates since Jeannie opened this last. But the last one, the update that they did on 11/13, you got new text editing features. They've added arc, circular, spiral, and let's see what else. Arc, circular, spiral, and vertical. So, and then they've updated the gallery, they've improved functionality. So you can see all of these updates were all things they added since they started at the very beginning. So some of them will be under the paid platform, but some of them will also be under the free platform. And over here is where I can see that if I select cutting machine, that I can see that the store, I don't know what this is or how it got there. I think somebody played and tried to put in a wrong number. This is where the store machine is hooked. So all I have to do is have the Scan and Cut turned on, which I will in a minute, and I'll be able to send my cutting files directly to the Scan and Cut. That's what makes it so much fun. Hello, Paula. So I'm ready to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and look for my project. So I can look for it several different ways, but the easiest way is to just do a search. And I did Thanksgiving. This is going to show me all projects, paid and otherwise, for Thanksgiving. But if you look at a lot of these, this one's free, this one's free, this one's free. Anything that doesn't have a crown is on the free platform. So, but it's everything here. It's everything. It's got cutting machine. It's got sublimation printer. This one's kind of fun. That's a paid one, but that one's kind of fun for sublimation. But I'm just going to keep scrolling. I almost did this Thanksgiving card, but then I saw the little box, and the little box was such fun. So here's the one that says Thanksgiving gift box. And so those are the cut files, but here's the whole project. So for those of you that you say sometimes you have a difficult time finding the directions, the Thanksgiving box is offered two ways. If you just need the cut files, they're right there. If you want the project with all of the instructions and the videos, you're going to touch here. Now, if they've imported a project from Scan and Cut Canvas, for those of you that have been around for a while, you know that Scan and Cut Canvas was pretty lean with its directions when we first got it. So if it's one of the old ones, it may not have as many directions. But anything that was created for Artspira has full directions with it with a video. So if I touch this, I can see this is my finished project, and you can see mine came pretty close, but I just didn't have the same colors, which is fine. In a minute, you're going to see I can't even figure out what colors to use. So I have a whole stack of paper underneath me because this could be so adaptable. Yeah, if you think of a pumpkin, you probably think of fall, and you probably think of Thanksgiving, and you probably think of Halloween. So, you know, there's that. But if you have Scan and Cut Canvas, or if you have the paid version, now this isn't a premium editing feature. If you have the paid version, you can change out the pumpkin for something else. So always lots of fun. Hello, Dudica. Good morning, Rolo. So I'm just going to say I want to send my my cut files. So it tells me I need paper, cardstock, 4 kinds. This first part here, that's the box. That's where if you have a heavier cardstock, that would be a good cardstock to use. This part and this part, this is the outer wrap on the box and the leaves. So that can be a thinner paper if you don't have heavy cardstock. And then we're going to cut them out, and we're going to string it all together. So you will also need, I just used a double-sided tape, which was on here, and 2 kinds of string. Again, I can't decide, so I brought it all. But I'm going to start by setting this aside for a moment and going through some of my papers to figure what I want to use. And actually on this one, I wanted to use a heavier cardstock. I couldn't find it in the store. So this is actually, believe it or not, it's an old pizza box. It was never eaten out of. It was just a thin pizza box that I used to use for the rhinestone class to keep the rhinestones kind of contained in one area. So the other side of it is white. The inside was brown. So really a lot of stuff will sub. So I know I need 3 different colors. I need leaves. So, and then this is just a thin piece of cardboard, but you know what? It probably would make a great box. And I might go for this for a box because it is, you know, it's pretty heavy, but I'm not sure yet. With my leaves, they don't have to be as heavy. So I think I was toying with this one because I really liked all of this in here. These are the same. Some of you, if you took the Scan and Cut class, might recognize some of this paper because you would have had it like in your kits. All right, so I don't know that that's long enough. That might be long enough to do the wrap part, this outside part. So that might be one I could use. This is a little bit too thin, so I'm going to put this aside. These are all, I think, a little too thin. I'll set those aside. It doesn't have to be really heavy, but a little bit of body is nice. Ooh, that might be kind of fun on the outside. So I have to pick one for my box, one for the outside wrap. Ooh, I think I used polka dots the first time though. Oh, this one might be kind of fun too, but I'm not ready to do Christmas yet. First we do the turkeys, then we do the stocking stuffs. So I'm going to try to keep this kind of Thanksgiving-ish looking. So this might work for my box. So although it's got a print on this side, it's a little heavier. I can always use either side of the paper. So I'm going to set this one up there just in case. I like to find something a little heavier. What's on the other side of this? All right, so this is actually white on the inside. So it's the cover, but it's the right weight. So I think I'll set that aside there. So I now have my box, which is the inside part. I have one pick for the outside, for the wrap. I want something, I think I want something fun. They're all fun, right? Ooh, this might be kind of fun. That might clash though with my leaves. Hi, Debbie. Good morning. I'm liking this live thing. I really do. Oh, wait a minute. I think I'm going to go with this one if there's enough. So I'll have the white on the inside, this on the outside, if there's enough. I think there's enough. If there's enough. And then these are my leaves. So I'm good. Got it down. All of this can go out of the way now. This just goes on a low tack mat when you're cutting cardstock. So I have this, and then let's see what I'm going to use for my ribbon. Let's do that. And with this, ooh, depends on where it lands, I guess. I could do the red, I could do the black. I could do black and white. I think I'll just use this. So even though it called for, hi Elizabeth, even though it called for twine, it doesn't mean I have to use twine. I did use twine on the first one. I'm going to use those two on this one. All right. So I'm getting ready here. I got all my stuff together. And I'm going to turn the Scan and Cut on. And grab my low tack mat. I have some washi tape here too, because I never toss a mat until it's completely dead. There's that. Here's my mat. I could have swore I had some tape out here last night. Let's see what's in the goodie bag. Well, I might have to grab some tape. I thought I put it out here, but I didn't. I'll run and get it while we're cutting. All right. So let's see what my steps are. I'm going to cut part A and part B. So I'm going to send part A first. So that means where you see the blue box, that's my cut file. It says create down here at the bottom. And I'm just going to select create. And it shows me how that box is going to fit on a 12 by 12 mat. You do have the option in here. If you have a bigger mat and you want to change the mat size, you can do it. You can rotate. I have mine set to show the grid. These are all free. There's nothing there. So it's right here. I'm going to go ahead. And then if I wanted to add text, see, I can unplug this. I think I'm charged enough. All right, so what if I wanted to add text to my box? So you can see, first of all, you have to touch it because you're not doing anything if you haven't touched it. I mean, it's got to have the box around it. And then I can select text. And then if I want to write in Thanksgiving, and then I can size Thanksgiving. You have to touch it. So right now I have to touch where the box is. So if I wanted to write something on the box, I could do that. And you can see down here, I can select a different font. These are all free. Nothing's wrong here. Nothing's different here. I'm not going to do this. I just want to show you all the. Now, if I touch transformation, even transformation, the new transformation that they added, even that is free. So if I wanted something arced or something like that, I have the ability to do it. I can edit somewhat. I mean, I have all these choices. Today, I'm just going to keep it simple. So I'm doing the box, put it back in the middle of the mat. I'm done. So I'm going to select OK. And if it's on a 12 by 12 mat, I don't think I care. Let's get it back in the middle. Whoops. I made it too small. Let me bring it back in again. All right. So now I'm just going to say done. It's not going to offer me the option to save because it actually is built into the Scan and Cut. And you'll see there's the cutting machine. And if I say cut options, as is or by color. Well, this is only one thing. So we're going to leave it as is. When we get to the other one where we have the wrap and the leaves, we're going to sort by color. And that way it'll, move them over so that we can put two colors on the mat. So I'm going to just say transfer. And it's always going to say transferring overwrites the data already stored in the temporary data pocket. So what that is that's a temporary pocket. If you use my connection with your Scan and Cut and your Luminaire or your Scan and Cut and your Stellaire, you know that the temporary pocket is like a way station so that you can send information back and forth, but it doesn't stay there forever. And I'm okay with it. And right now it's showing me the transfer rate. And the data transfer is complete. Okay. So let me look on my Scan and Cut now. And I'm going to retrieve data from cloud. How fun was that? There's my box. So I'm going to go ahead, and I had decided that I was going to use the back side of this sheet as my box. So I'd have like a white box. And I'm going to set it on the mat that way because I have that hole and my card goes all the way side to side. So I want all the way the width of it. So get that on there. It's pretty sticky, but I'm still going to, I cleaned it really good last night, but there's still a little bit. Oh, I'm glad you didn't miss it, Wanda. I'm so glad to see all of you guys here. I love this idea of doing stuff live. I love the idea of doing things just as a sew along or a craft along. All right, so this is just cardstock, so I'm just going to be using my black Auto Blade cartridge. I always open it up and check to make sure that there's no debris from like that that fell out from the last time I used it. I don't feel anything sticky on there, so sometimes if I cut stuff with glue on it, I go through it and make sure it doesn't have the sticky on it. I wipe it off with an alcohol wipe. I'm just going to barely set the edges of my wheels underneath and select load. What if errors occurred in network function? If errors occurred in network function, one of your two devices is not on the same network. So if you have like a 5G and a 2G, one's probably on one network, one's probably on the other. So both devices have to be on the same network. All right, so I don't think I have anything I need to do here, so I'm just going to select OK. And I'm going to select cut. I always check because I never remember what I cut here and what I cut at home. So I always want to check my settings here, mainly for the half cut if I've done vinyl. But it looks like cut speed, everything's on auto, so I'm good to go. And I'm going to start. And you're going to hear a series of, there's some straight cuts and then there's some series of like dots, and that's where it's cutting the score lines for you. Okay, so that what you're hearing now, that bouncing up and down, That's where the machine's cutting score lines. Now, I'll be honest with you, I haven't attempted to create my own box because it looks like a little bit beyond my comprehension level as far as geometry goes. But you do have the ability to create a score line right on the Scan and Cut. So, and I do use that often. Some of you know I do some craft shows, and I make all my own hangers for whatever I need to hang. Whether it's a snack bag, a wrap, or something like that. And I use the score line feature on the machine to add a score line where I need to fold it to maybe a pre-purchased SVG for a hang tag. So you do have the ability to do that. I think I remembered where the tape is. I think I threw it in my backpack because I brought it from home. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all the pieces out. What craft shows do I participate in? I don't do craft shows. Oh, craft shows. I'm thinking what? I just did the Carson City High School one. And at the weekend after Thanksgiving, I'll be doing DeMonte. And then I do have some of my stuff in the makers space in Reno Public Market. Okay, if it didn't cut all the way through, Paula, just run it again. So what can happen with that? It all depends on how sharp your blade is. And it's kind of like an X-Acto knife. It just depends on what you actually cut with it previously. So as long as you haven't taken it off the mat, it's why I always recommend to check a corner and make sure that it cut. Because if it didn't cut and you haven't unloaded the mat or anything, you can just run it again. So what I'm going to do is I can feel that it's cut. I'm just going to lift a little edge over here and see if it cut. And mine cut. I can see that mine cut. If it hadn't cut, I would just stick this back down and run it through again. It's an auto blade. It won't, so the first time it pushes as deep as it thinks it needs to go. But when it goes the second time, if it just needs to recut a few places, it won't cut quite as deep. So you can't cut you will not cut through your mat unless you physically adjust your pressure settings. So just run it again. All right, so I'm going to take this off. Well, I guess it's stickier than I thought it was. And this is done. Let's pop that off the mat. So if I wanted the other side to use as a box, I'm assuming this was a whole piece of cardstock, I could use either side. But I'm going to use the white side. And then so now, with Artspira, some of the projects will save to the memory of the machine. Some of them will not. So if I select save and I try to save it to the machine, this one, da 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 da. Come on. The Windows spinning wheel of please be patient. This one will save to the memory of the machine. So if you wanted to make multiple boxes and you wanted to do them, not all at the same time, then you could you would be able to save this one to the memory. So I'm going to just touch the house button and go back. And we are done with that. Let's bring the pattern back up. And I can go and say done and home. I'm just going to, and then here's the second half. All right, so I have actually three different colors there. So I have the wrap, and then I have two different colors of leaves. So I'm going to select create, and they're fine. If I wanted to move them around on the mat, they are grouped together. So let's see if I've got a group button down here. Can I ungroup it? Yes. But look what happens. Your box gets split. Instead of that being one piece, see how the score lines are? Instead of those being score lines, it looks like they might cut. So I'm not going to take that chance. But when I'm done and I select OK and I select done, don't save, then I have cut options. So if I do cut options, remember we did as is with the other one, but by color, you can cut each color on a separate mat without changing the layout. I don't think I need to do that. So what it's going to do is it's going to separate it for you. So if you just had big pieces of cardstock and you didn't want to have to cut out other than what you needed, then it would separate and split these pieces so on a different mat. But I'm going to leave it as is. And I'm going to go ahead and transfer. Data transfer is complete. And let me find it over here on my Scan and Cut. Retrieve data from the cloud. And there we go. Now, I'm going to use the mat, the grid on the mat, to cut and place my my different colors. So I know that I can use the whole 6-inch side over here for my wrap. And I'll cut it 12, it's probably already 12 inches. And then with this, I can cut, I'll just cut a 6x6 and then maybe well, I like to use the whole width, 6x4 or something. All right, so here's this. So I only need like, it looks like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 inches at the most. So I can pick kind of where I want that to go. 1, 2, I think what I'll start is over here. Let's see, how's that? Does that give me 4 inches? Yeah, I think so. So I'm just going to get some scissors, some icky scissors. And I'm going to cut. Ooh, this is fun though too. No, I think I like this part right in here. So I'm going to get that one section. And that's way more than I need. Remember, I can still scan. So I'm going to put this one over here. Again, I will scan before I cut for placement. And then I'm going to have my bigger leaf be this pattern minus the fish. But maybe it's too small. The leaf is too small. I'll just do this. It does kind of have some writing on it. So I am going to, place the writing going the right way, just in case any of it's evident afterwards. And then I just love polka dots. It appears I'm going to do polka dots again, but the smaller leaf. So And I'll put this one right here. And then, like I said, I will scan before I press the cut button. Loading the mat. And I'll go ahead and scan. Let's see, did I pull my tray out? I did not. All right, so now I can see where everything fits. I've got to move this one down. It's grouped together. I wonder if, can I ungroup it here? Let's see. Nope. All right, so it's grouped together. So I'm going to move that piece of cardstock. Actually, I need to move it up. So I'll move it up and then scan again. This is looking perfect. All right, let's see if I made that leaf into the right. It's just right on the edge. It probably would have been fine, but I'm not a on the edge kind of gal when it comes to cutting stuff. All right, now everything's within its lines. So I'm going to select OK, and then I'm going to select Cut. And start. While this is cutting, oh, I hate to walk away when it cuts though. I'm always like, ooh, that's when something goes wrong, right? When you walk away while it's cutting. It seems pretty sticky, but all right, I'm going to get brave. I'm going to go grab the tape while it's cutting the score lines. That sounds like I made it. So I just get these, it's just their permanent crafter's tape kind of stuff. It's just like on a roll, so you can just roll it on. And I want to say this one probably came from Amazon, but I get a lot of my crafting papers and stuff at Michael's, mainly because they have an enormous selection of Caesar products for when I need vinyls and stuff. So. But you can get it anywhere. It's just a crafting tape. So while that's still cutting, I'm going to take a look at what my steps will be when I'm done. So I've got that all done. Discard, home. Let's go back to Thanksgiving. So it says fold parts A and B1 along the dotted lines, then glue the tabs together to assemble. And then there's a score line on each leaf where the twine goes through. Make the box, fold the wrap over it, tie it with the leaves. So let's start. First, I'll get all this off my mat. I have no idea what weight this is. So the heavier piece was like the front cover. So think about, when you think about cardstock, you don't want to use like something really thin. Like this would probably make a box if I wanted it to, but it wouldn't be a very sturdy box that you could put anything in, right? But this outside cover of the book of papers is a little bit thicker. So that, that gives me a sturdier box if I want to put something in it. The pizza box was almost overkill, but I really wanted to do the project. So, you make it work, I guess. And if the project requires a specific weight of cardstock, they will usually tell you. I mean, I've done a couple of projects on Scan and Cut Canvas where they've actually told me, this is going to be fun. They've actually told me what weight of, what weight to use. There's just so much out there. It's almost impossible to memorize all of it. So I usually just think, well, I compare cardstock, I guess. You guys are probably going to laugh. I compare it to kind of like fabric. So if I was going to make a box, I wouldn't want quilt cotton. I'd want like a twill or something like that that had a little bit more strength. And if I was just going to make a wrap around the outside of the box, then the quilt cotton would probably be fine. So here's our card for that. And these have a little bit of a score line in them as well, and that's so that you can kind of get a three-dimensional look out of it. Okay. All right, so I'll get the rest of this clean later. I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to score my lines. I just started on one side, and I'm just going to gently score all of the lines. Don't press too hard. Sometimes, especially like this isn't actually a heavy cardstock, it's just lighter, obviously lighter weight than the pizza box. So what I don't want to do is actually have the score lines have the things break off. So you're going to just fold all the score lines first. And before I start taping anything, I really like to kind of get a visual of what it's supposed to look like. And I think I had it, because we're not going to be taping this top part. It's got that little lip in it for you to lift it up in case you want to actually put something in the box. So now I can start taping my sides up. And I'm going to do the sides first, and then I'll just fold the wings over the top of it. So just going to... And then I just match the sides up, score lines. And then I'm going to tape these down too. All right, so now my box is secure. The top stays open so that I can, lift it up and put something in it. So I'm going to work on the wrap here. And those score lines are just a little bit dicier because of the print, but I love this print. I think it's going to be really fun. All right. You have to make sure now that you don't tape this down to the box itself. So your glue needs to stay just glued to the actual the box in and out. All right, part way done. I like it. It's definitely not as bright as the other, but infinitely still as cute. I like this right on there. Okay. So how am I doing this? Let me take a look at my instructions again. So it looks like the twine goes through both leaves by going down through this one and coming up through this one. It doesn't tell me how much I need. So I'll just start with some equal parts here. So it's going to go down through this one. Okay, and then I'm leaving some in the middle because this has to go around. This is going to go around the box. So we'll just leave a lot there, and then we'll just cut off what we don't need at the end. And so now up through the small one. Oh my gosh, come on. All right. All right, so let me get my butter scissors, and we'll clip the excess off. And there's your cute little Thanksgiving treat box. One and two. So I think what my goal was this class was to, or this craft along, was to get you feeling a little bit more comfortable with Artspira and your scan and cut. So here's the deal. If it sits in the box, you're not going to learn it. If it sits in the box and you took the class and yet you've never taken it out since you took the class, you're not going to embrace it. So, and I can honestly say that because when I got my first scan and cut, it was like tossed at me when I worked for Brother, and I'd never had a cutting machine in my life. None of the educators had. And we were like, okay, what do we do with this? And what we found out was you don't learn it if it sits in the box. So I'm going to encourage you to do the same. If every project doesn't come out perfect, okay, so it's a learning experience. It's not a mistake. It's not a bad thing. It's a learning experience. So, I encourage you to pick some simple projects like this that are free and just kind of go for it. If it comes out great, woo, 100%. Frankly, I like the bow here better than I like the bow here because this was almost a little bit too heavy, but it's what I could find around. And then with this one, I actually had time last night before I left to look and see what kind of stuff we had around the store that was. So I didn't go out and get anything. I didn't. The plan for this was that I used whatever we had around the store. And so if you've got a little bit of stuff around your house, that's great. If you don't, then just get like some of these some of these papers come in like little tablets, like little books, and they're 12 by 12 sheets. Just get something like that and something to start with. And guess what? If you cut out a box and you used paper that was too thin, it's a learning experience. You know that you don't want that weight. And if you pick out something for a card, like a greeting card, and it's too heavy, and even with the score lines, you can't bend it enough to get it in an envelope. Oh well, it was, pick the next weight down. If it doesn't come in the directions what weight you're supposed to use, then just a little experimentation, to do that. And it's okay if it's not perfect the first time. It really is. I think sometimes we're just utterly too hard on ourselves. We expect so much out of it. My 15 by 15 heat press. Yes, Anna, it's an HTV Ront. And if you haven't bought one yet, they now, so mine is the auto press. They have a new one that they just released that is also an auto press, but it's got an adjustable pressure, which, I think I might have to add that one too. I may sell the other one and buy that one, but I don't know. Probably not right now. But yeah, the HTV Ron, I've had really good luck with it. I mean, I don't make anything off of it. I'm just don't have an affiliate link or anything. I just, I did a lot of research, and it may not be a perfect fit for everyone, but you kind of have to go by what you're doing at the time. And, if your hobby evolves, then you sell one, you buy something different, but if the hobby doesn't evolve, you want something that you don't feel like you invested, a ton of money in, and now you're beating yourself up because it wasn't really a good fit. So I have both the 15 by 15 heat press that I've been using in all the videos for the Scan and Cut that require a heat press, because I think that if you enjoy them, if I start seeing you in every single class that requires a heat press, that you're going to get better results if you have a heat press rather than an iron, then it's kind of maybe going to light a fire that maybe you need to go that route. I mean, last night, I'll tell you, it's not just for vinyl. Jeannie was like shocked when I said, you know what, you can put all that SF101 that goes on all the back of all those Kimberbell projects. You can put the whole thing on in a 15 by 15 inch press. You don't have to iron. You just put it on, put the stuff down, look on the SF101 label as to how hot the iron is supposed to be. If it says between cotton and linen, it's usually between 280 and 320 degrees. You set it for that. You set it for the 10 seconds you're supposed to hold the iron in one place, and you have a 15 by 15 inch square done. Just got my new one yesterday. Good job, Dudica. So, I have always used a press to apply interfacing or that kind of stuff. I came from the garment side. I used to do large swaths of interfacing for garments. And I used to have one that was, shaped, a really long one shaped like a football kind of thing that you could get at the sewing stores. So I was not a stranger to a heat press. But this is even better. I mean, this goes for, a lot of different stuff. So, all right. So look at that, 53 minutes. So this is less than a 1 hour project. And if you didn't have to listen to me talk, you could have gotten 2 or 3 of them done probably. So great little gift box. If I do, that's a big if, I don't know if I will get the time to do it, but I was thinking of trying to change the pumpkin to maybe like a Christmas tree or something more holiday-ish. If I get the chance to do that, I will record a little short video and I'll put it up on the A1 YouTube channel because I think this is so versatile. I mean, how fun is it? If I make cookies, so I wouldn't mind having something like this that was just like oblong maybe instead of square to put my biscottis in to give us gifts. So I think that, this project could lead into other things. So I hope you enjoyed it. Aw, thank you, Terry. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the idea of a craft along, if you like the idea of me starting a fire and making you use your stuff to do other than just, sewing, your Scan and Cut and other things that you may have purchased, then just let us know. I'm happy to accommodate. So all of you have such a great day, and we'll see you next time.